Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
Green Career Week is March 4th through the 8th. Green Career Week is a national initiative led by Seed Your Future and industry professionals to increase awareness about green industry careers and help build relationships with local schools, colleges, and universities.
Today, our special guest is Jazmin Albarran, the Executive Director of Seed Your Future. Seed Your Future is a movement to promote horticulture and inspire people to pursue careers working with plants.
Almost everybody knows what agriculture is, but ask them what horticulture is, you get blank stares.
Seed Your Future's vision is for a world where everyone understands and values the importance of plants and the people who work in this field, art, science, technology, and business of horticulture.
Their mission is to promote horticulture and inspire people to pursue careers working with plants.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back in the garden with Jazmin Albarran right after these messages. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is Triple Action may be used up to the day of harvest. So the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilome's Triple Action and expect to have the best-looking plants in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York Tri-State Area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Jazmin, welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. As an advocate for horticulture, the industry, first of all, how did you get your start?
So my background is in mental health and youth development. I had no idea this amazing world existed. I've always loved plants. Now I killed them all. I was one of those. I loved them so much, right? I wanted them to live. And as a plant, I assumed they wanted more water. I didn't know about root rot until I came into the industry. So it's been fun. It's been a steep learning curve because, again, I had no idea the breadth and depth of this industry, but it's been an incredible journey. I've now been with Seed Your Future 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years this May.
Oh, wow. Because I've been watching your interviews and articles, and that we actually met at where you gave a presentation at a nursery, and that there are some major people that are involved with this, but I'll tell you, it is the message, first of all, getting through, and how, I guess this is probably a question that's later in our outline, but how are you getting through to the people that will make a difference? How are you inspiring? First of all, I guess it's K through 12. I mean, do you have ways that you try to break this up where you're trying to get in touch with K through 12? Because you have one statistic in here that blew me away where I think it was third grade. There's such a small amount. They talk about plants, but by the time they're middle school, horticulture is never talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I know, right? It is that. And the thing that it's interesting is because everywhere you look, you're encountering horticulture every day, right? There's trees, there's grass, there's flowers, there's bushes everywhere.
Right.
But they're such a staple that I think people just take them for granted and don't realize, from the breeding careers to the ones actually growing the plants to then those that are transporting them from point A to point B, right? From the nursery, from the nurseries to the greenhouses to then eventually our homes, our parks, our communities. And so we're here, right? We want to highlight all those careers that are in this industry.
Right. And there's a listing that you have from the website where it shows all these different careers. And I think it's ironic that you put, crop dusting is actually on the list. And what we're doing right now, like Julio on the radio, this is part of our career. And there's so many ways so many touch points of horticulture besides, a lot of people think, oh, it's landscaping. It's like, no, it's not landscaping. I don't know. I talk to new employees at Bloomers, and I try to get through to them. This is an industry. This isn't just a job. We're retail garden center primarily, and that where it's not just a retail job, whether you work here or Kohl's, it doesn't matter. No, this is an industry where horticulture is an industry, and you actually learn so much more. And I think that's the message that Seed Your Future is trying to get out.
Absolutely. And so I was one of those that had no idea, again, all of this was here. So I started in May, and then by that summer, July, I went to Cultivate. And my mind was absolutely blown away. I think, more people need to just get a little sneak peek at to that, right? Because before then, I never wondered, where do my plants come from? When I went to go buy a plant, I just said, okay, if it's going to be green, I want it textured, or I need to have really bright colors. Like, that was it.
You're our listener.
Wondered.
Yeah, really.
Yes, exactly. I know. That's why I think they said I was a great choice for the position, because I'd have that love of them, but then my background in mental health, youth development, workforce, outreach, all of that gave me the skills needed to find more people like myself, right? I assumed everybody needed a PhD in the plant science to work in this industry. I would have never thought that with a bachelor's degree in psychology and an MBA, I would be working in the horticulture industry. Now, I'm not working with the plants, but I'm trying to bring people into this industry, and I often go visit nurseries and botanic gardens and et cetera. So I still feel like I'm a part of the industry.
Oh, I think you absolutely are. I mean, in your presentation in the middle of a nursery, I mean, it fit in, and people were listening. And it's just so important where we need to get feeder. If I could find, a student that was interested in horticulture that, like you said, actually knew what the name meant or what the word meant, that it would be it would be unbelievable for us, because we never see it, right, Julio?
No.
Yeah.
Well, and they're out there. If you look on Instagram, there are tons of young people that are, without knowingly, talking about the horticulture industry or uplifting it. These are young people like in their 20s talking about the Latin words and how to propagate on Instagram.
Yeah.
They don't know. They just know they love plants, but even they don't realize everything that is beyond that. Like you said, everyone thinks of the person cutting the grass or the farmer in overalls as industry. Now those jobs exist, but even farming is now the amount of technology and sustainability that is in that industry. The general public has no idea.
Oh yeah, the amazing thing, like John Deere. I was watching a presentation about John Deere and all of the technology that are in the tractors now, from everything from using drones to pinpoint sections in fields to it's crazy. It's crazy.
Science.
It is. It's a science, and that's our line all the time. We'll say it's a science. It's a science. But
it absolutely is.
You know, that all of that you were saying about the students about knowing botanical names, that's a COVID dividend where houseplants skyrocketed during COVID, and we had somebody that worked with us that was doing our social media, Maria Brasco. Maria was great, but because she, I didn't know this was going on. She goes, yeah, it's Monstera Mondays. I was like, what the heck is Monstera Mondays? It's like, and that we've to her expense, we've joked about her where TikTok videos told her that she should take all of her plants outside for a wind bath. Yeah. And it's like knowing how to grow plants. It's like, you don't need to do that. It's like, take 30 or 40 plants, put them outside and let them blow around in the wind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, okay.
But it was awesome. You know, it was awesome that during that period, Jazmin, we had families coming in. It wasn't just, an individual or, a couple.
Yeah.
We had families coming in during that time with your young kids. It was amazing. Wasn't it, Len?
Oh, yeah.
It was it was a period of time where we were like, whoa.
And we're not too far from Rowan University, and it was like hordes of girls would come in to do their dorm rooms and to decorate their dorm rooms, and they would be spouting out botanical names of houseplants. And I mean, trees, shrubs, and perennials. I'm down. Botanical names of houseplants? Oh, I was like, I'm trying to use the common names. It was like a reverse role. I sounded like our customer usually. It's like, you mean the yellow one that has the stripe in the leaf? That's what our customers tell us. It's like, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. So, but it's still continuing, in that we still have, my son works within the nursery, and we were talking recently, and he said, houseplants are still strong. Houseplants, we just got a delivery in, and they're still strong. And it all is that COVID dividend where that's an interest but I don't think it carries on that it's a career.
Right, because they have no idea the things that they can do, right? Everyone says, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a teacher. No one says, be a horticulturist. No one says, these are things you can do in floral. These are things you can do in landscape. This is what you can do in farming, right? And so that's what Future Future's doing. We're trying to connect with those students and those educators. We work with middle school through college. So it's having a variety of resources for the different age ranges, because they all need something different based on where they are.
Right.
So the elementary group, that's when the K group, you start fostering the passion for plants, for gardening, for the outdoors, for nature, right? And that's how it'll gravitate toward a career. And in middle school, you start having the conversation about who you want to be when you grow up, because
I remember taking aptitude tests.
Yeah,
right. Right. You're having to pick a high school based on that interest. And again, that's when students can start thinking about, okay, I have to have a job one day. What might that look like? So that's where we start introducing those career profiles.
Right. Okay.
We have 140 on the website. So here, come look at the diversity of the careers that are out there, right? And we highlight the plant jobs, but also communications, accounting, marketing, graphic design, customer service, sales, right? Logistics, transportation, all careers that people have no idea this industry has. And then once you get them to high school, okay, you decide, are you going to go straight into industry, or are you going to go pursue higher education? So we have a 2 and 4 year where to study map on the website that shows you those plant science programs across the country and Canada. And so, okay, that's another tool, right? Figure out, okay, what school I want to go to. And you got to pay for it, right? So we have a database of industry scholarships that students can apply for, and we break that up.
Every college student's ears just perked up.
Yes. Oh, we know, right? We know they need that resource. So we have on the website a scholarship page where they can go and search the different type of scholarships based on the area of study or what company is providing the scholarship. And then we know there are often internships throughout the journey of higher education. And so we have a database of industry scholarships from across the country. We break that out into area of study, who's providing the internship, but that one also is broken out by state, because we know some students want to stay local and some want to travel a bit. So we are always thinking about how do we make this really super user-friendly for those students, teachers, and parents. And so while our resources are catering to the career aspiration of students, we're reaching out to teachers, we're reaching out to youth leaders, we're trying to connect with FFA advisors, 4-H, you name it, all those youth leaders, because they're the ones that are having conversations with students about those careers in the industry. And then we also have resources for parents, guardians as well, that are wanting to talk to their students about what are some other industries that might be great, right? Think of any student that loves plants, loves nature, loves the outdoor. There's tons of options for them within this horticulture industry.
That's right. All right, we've got to take a break. And then when we come back, Seed Your Future is 10 years old. And that we're going to talk about how the movement got started, and that I noticed that there were some real powerhouses that really got behind it and got things moving. So we'll be right back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Are you looking forward to a spring of vibrancy while using the best organically approved growing media for your annuals and vegetables? Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter has been created to set a diverse culture ideal for germinating seeds and root cuttings. Created using the best ancient composting techniques and new age mixing devices, Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter gently combines kelp meal, worm castings, mycorrhizae, perlite, and sustainably harvested peat moss, establishing the most desirable setting to enhance new plant growth. Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter is available at these local retailers, or visit www.coastofmaine.com to locate one near you.
Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, PA. Ashcombs Farm and Greenhouses, Mechanicsburg, PA. Sickles, Little Silver, New Jersey. Wanting to up your game in the vegetable garden? With 90 years of organic gardening experience, the Espoma Company has you covered. Espoma Organic Garden Tone is not your average garden variety fertilizer. Garden Tone is especially blended for organic vegetable gardens. Its all-natural formula contains Biotone, a blend of organic ingredients that supplies essential nutrients for strong, healthy plants and mouth-watering vegetables. Its slow-release formula provides continuous feeding. The Biotone contained in Garden Tone is a combination of organic ingredients and beneficial microbes to help roots grow deeper and faster for bigger, more bountiful harvests. Garden Tone is simple to use and safe for people, pets, and the planet. No harmful chemicals or synthetic fertilizers are ever added. You can find Garden Tone at fine garden centers. Visit espoma.com to find a retailer near you. Garden Tone from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. We are with Jazmin Albarran, from Executive Director from Seed Your Future. Seed Your Future just turned 10 years old. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
How did this come about, this movement, and how did it get started, Jazmin?
Yeah, so a little over 10 years ago, actually, there were several volunteers within the American Society Horticultural Science, so ASHS. They were at a conference, and these were horticulture department chairs, department professors, that were realizing not enough students were coming into their higher education programs. And they realized, okay, this is going to cause an issue in the labor pool, right? So they said, we can either keep talking about this or we can do something. And so these volunteers went to the ASHS and had can we start a program? Can we figure out how to find and build awareness of these careers? And as true academics, before jumping into just creating a nonprofit, they did a lot of research. So there were 3 phases of research. The first phase was talking to industry professionals and asking, why can't you find staff, and what are some of those barriers? And then phase 2, we did a telephone survey across the country to ask the general public if they know what the word horticulture means and what their perceptions of the industry are. And in the third phase, we talked to students and similar asked them, do you know about careers working with plants, and how do you want to learn about them? So those years of research then created Seed Your Future, why we start working with middle schools and then move up. So that's kind of how we got started. And then those group of volunteers brought in Ball Horticultural Company and Longwood Gardens as some of our first donors to get Seed Your Future going. And here we are, as you said, 10 years later.
Wow. Those Ball Horticulture is an amazing company that you go out and you take a look at some of the plants that you're buying, and you take a look at that tag, you're going to see Ball somewhere on it, or else at least they had their hand. And Longwood Gardens, being in the Philadelphia area, you can't get any better.
I agree. Those are 2 innovating businesses that are progressive and that want to know how they can impact that next generation, right? What can they do to help bring in? Because they know they need them, right? They need horticulturists, and they need people in sales and in customer service and all those other careers as well.
Are you getting the chance to connect to guidance counselors in schools and things like that? Or are they standoffish? It's like, oh, we've got our curriculum. We have everything straightened out.
No, so actually the guidance counselors are so focused on mental health that not all of them are able to get to career exploration conversations with students, right? So we target art teachers, science teachers, those FFA advisors, right? Those teachers that are working in the classroom day in and day out with those students, because they're more likely to know which students has an interest or a passion for the outdoors, for plants, and can then have that conversation.
Right.
Of, hey, here's
I'm going
to
interrupt for a second. For our listeners, the FFA, for those of you that don't know, is Future Farmers of America. Big in a lot of rural schools, but they're also in some of the urban schools as well. But instead of concentrating on agriculture, is concentrating on everything from floriculture to annual production, things like that.
So we spend time trying to figure out, right, who are those connectors for those students that are likely going to have conversations about careers. And oftentimes it's that teacher that they're seeing several times a day, every day.
Mm-hmm. In our area, we are in southern New Jersey. It is a pretty highly populated area from Cherry Hill to, I guess, if you would cut us across the map, we would go Cherry Hill, Glassboro, Mullica Hill, down to the Atlantic Ocean and to Delaware. That there is only one high school horticulture club that I'm aware of, and that's in Delsea Regional High School in Franklinville, New Jersey. And I tell you, we need more. We need more.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need more of those teachers, too, that have that passion of plants to bring in, that class, that horticulture. I did learn in Chicago, they are starting 2 courses. So there's some fire happening, right? So hopefully that momentum will build across different states and we'll get more back into the classrooms.
That's great. Last week we had on Pennsylvania Horticultural Society that Seth is in charge of doing the Philadelphia Flower Show, and he's the director and vice president, and that we were talking about the initiatives that they do. Do you work with them at all with anything?
Yes. So PHS CEO Matt is on our advisory council.
Excellent.
So, yes, he is one of the volunteers that helps Seed Your Future think through our strategies, our outreach, our communications, and they often participate in Green Career Week and getting our resources in front of the teachers that they work with throughout the year.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. It's great news. They do such good work beyond, like, people think of the flower show and just a couple other things that they do, but they are doing so much more from transitioning to a career from, I'll just say it, that there are people that are incarcerated and that they are looking for a way out, and that they do a professional job of making these men and women into, people that I want to hire. They're in so much in demand that we can't find anybody, and it's just a great. They get it. They get it. So, as far as your biggest challenge with, say, grade school, middle school, what do you find is your biggest challenge?
It's just getting to them, right? So
okay.
It's just I need help, and that's one of the reasons why we created Green Career Week. It's because think of all these businesses like yours that are planted across the country. You have schools all around you, right? And so empowering you to be able to go and have conversations with those students about these are careers in the horticulture industry. This is what the horticulture industry looks like. That's helping us reach more of those students across the country, no matter whether they're elementary or college. We want them to just be aware that this industry exists because no one in the classroom is talking about it.
That's right. Now, have you gotten a chance to visit growers? Like, I know you're at Medford Nursery, and that's where we met. But have you gone to other growers across the country, like for instance, big annual production greenhouses and things like that, where you've actually seen there's 1,000 people working here.
Right.
And they need 500 more.
Right, absolutely. I've heard, especially during COVID, it was hard to keep it with the demand because they didn't have enough staff to be able to do the work that was needed to get those plants on the shelves. But yes, it's been really fun going to see from the breeders to the growers. Again, it's just being able to walk through those places and then go back and share with educators and students. Look, like you said, the STEM that is happening in this industry is absolutely amazing. The automation, right? The technology that's happening. You can turn on the humidity or the lights or what that might be from an iPad. Like if students knew, those tech students that love, their video gaming or any of that technology type of stuff, they would love a career like this. But again, it's just that awareness of no one knows the variety of careers that they can find in this industry.
I recently read an article where Monrovia Nursery is one of the largest nurseries in the country, where they have robotics where it's robots that are doing all of the spacing of all of the plants in their, I think it was their California nursery, and that's it needs somebody to work with that, and that
exactly.
So it's
that software development. That's right. Like, there's so many other jobs that somebody told me once, you're competing with technology jobs. I'm like, no, I need those students to go into technology careers, right?
Right.
But then I want them to bring that innovation into horticulture.
Exactly. All right, we've got to take another break, and that we'll be right back in the garden right after this. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA.
From teaching moments in the garden to heartwarming memories, flowers have the remarkable ability to bring us together. The award-winning Philadelphia Flower Show invites you to a vibrant celebration of our growing community at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, March 2nd to 10th. Take part in the transformative power of gardening. Experience floral exhibits from top designers, the world's largest plant competition, crafts, shopping, activities, and more.
If you're like me, then you absolutely love birds. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center has you covered. They're dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds of all sorts. Want to bring more birds to your yard? Then you got to see this place. Bloomers has a huge flock of feeders, birdhouses, birdseed, and much, much more. Want to feed the birds and not the squirrels? They have this absolutely cool bronze bird feeder that will drive those sneaky squirrels nuts. They'll be moving to the next door neighbor in no time. OMG. Bloomers have these absolutely adorable birdhouses that will turn your yard into the perfect bird B&B. They carry all types of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. Bloomer stocks Lyric, Coles, CNS, Pine Tree Farms, and much, much more that will keep those beautiful birds coming back for more. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County. For more information and directions, check them out on the web at bloomers.com. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, you got to see this place.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. So, Jazmin, trying to reach out to students, that's where we were just now. How about students that don't want to go to college, that without a college degree? Do you have a path for them?
So for those students, similar on the website, you go into those profiles. In each one of the profiles, it lets you know whether you need a certification or a PhD, right? So going through there, they can see which careers don't necessarily require higher education. But for those students, even through Green Career Week, when we tell industry, when you're connecting with students, highlight that, right? Highlight the careers that do not require a degree in your business, what that looks like, what that career entails, and how students might apply to that. So having those conversations with those high school students that are going to be graduating right earlier on, so freshman, sophomore year, junior year, let them know what that looks like in your particular business so they can start thinking about that. Because we have a lot of, we're hearing from students, they're not as many going into higher education because they don't want to take on the debt they've seen their predecessors have, right? So industry has to be prepared to have those careers available and ready for those students that might be interested. So we tell students, same, look around, see what industry businesses around you and give them a call. Just say, hey, I'd be interested in learning more about what you do, how you do it. Where could I get a start? Industry is saying we need people. We want people with passion, people willing to do the work and understand that it's hard work. Now it's, okay, how can you train them to be the employee that you need?
That's it, exactly. I guess it was a few months ago where they were talking about where needing a bachelor's degree was not in vogue for some of the biggest, and I don't mean Walmart, I mean like actual careers. And it was, I can't say it was necessarily IBM or Microsoft, but it was companies that had that comparative, as far as a large company where they were going away from the traditional, bachelor's degree. Let's see what life lessons you learn. Let's see, because it's all about let me train you. If you have a desire or an interest, that's what I want. You don't have to come in trained because we're going to have to train you anyway.
Right.
So.
Right. And that's what we tell industry, be willing to train the new potential staff, and then we tell the staff it's okay, go in there and find out how you can be a good fit and figure out within that business, try out different positions and see what passion comes out.
Passion's it. It's all about passion. Give me somebody who has desire, and then we're in. It'll work. So, do you look like you're
I was thinking about garden centers, as far as, how do you approach the garden centers on what you're doing and helping us, get this word out like you're doing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same way, right? You are a business and you have like the most foot traffic. My gosh. You have those people that already love plants. They're coming to you because they want that product, right? They understand the value of plants, but your customers don't know what those jobs look like. They don't know what they can do. So, right, having some conversations, maybe having some future information by the cash register. We have a bunch of QR codes that take you to that career page. So if it just has something by your cash register said, love plants, love flowers, want a job here, want to learn more, right? And then let them do some career exploration. That's the thing, right? They see you as a place where you're providing relaxation, you're providing me with a product, you're providing me with these beautiful plants and flowers, but they don't see themselves as employees, right? And that's what we have to make sure that they're more aware of, that you have all of these particular type of positions. I mean, I know they vary from garden center to garden center, but there needs to be that shift where they see you as a potential employer, not just a place where they can go and buy something.
Right. An industry versus just a job.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And it's true. I mean, I see so many of, again, being in business for 37 years, that we see the people that we had working for us when they were sophomores in high school, all of a sudden now they're off and have their own businesses that are in the horticulture field and are taking it to the next level. And it's very satisfying. It really is. Awesome. That's satisfying. But you know what the most sating is?
What is?
Is seeing the marriages that have taken place by the time that they met.
The relationship part.
Yep. So.
That's great.
All right, we got to take another break real quick, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Green Career Week and exactly what that is, how we can help get the word out. So we'll be back talking about Green Career Week right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Jazmin, tell us about Green Career Week. And I like the fact that it's during the Philadelphia Flower Show. That's great.
Yes.
Good point.
So we have Green Career Week twice a year, just so you know. We do it once in the spring, once in the fall, because the horticulture industry is so massive, right? You have to think about floral, produce, ornamental hort, landscape, forestry, et cetera. It was hard to pick one time frame throughout the year that worked for everyone. So we said, all right, we'll give you 2 touch points, and whenever you can participate. But a lot of industry partners have been participating twice a year, because that's 2 times you can get in front of students and talk about your industry and your business. So the idea behind Green Career Week is that industry professionals will set up either field trips, classroom visits, whether they're in person or virtual, or participate in social media in some manner. The idea is that these professionals are going to talk to students about careers in horticulture, but most importantly, careers within their particular business. You know, what it looks like to work there, how to apply, what careers they have. They talk about the different departments that they have, what careers require a degree, which ones do not. Really wanting these students to connect with the local business in their backyard that they're passing up on a regular basis, but don't realize, again, this can be an employer for me, whether it's part-time, full-time, or just seasonal work, depending on the business. So we're just wanting to build awareness of, one, company positions, and getting those students to see those employers that are right in their backyard, in their community.
We also get from not just students, it's amazing on how many retirees that are wanting to get into the business.
Yes.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. I have probably 10 applications right now that are people that want to maintain the retired lifestyle, but also want to work 25 hours a week. So, it's amazing that happens. Now, while we were on break, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, all right, do you have any like real horror stories when you talk to an educator that are like, you know, we don't want horticulture. What the heck is that? You know, have you had any issues where anybody has been, you know, standoffish or didn't want to even talk about it?
No.
Great.
Luckily, that has not been my experience. A lot of them said, I have no idea what horticulture is. And so then we tell them, you know, horticulture is the art, the technology, and the science of plants. We tell them, you know, it's the food we eat, the landscape we live and play in, it's the environments we thrive in, it's the business of managing and using what we grow while maintaining the health of our soil, our air, our water. Like you said, it's all STEM and it's all about plants. So no, they're actually really excited to be able to have another option for career conversations with their students.
I would imagine because
all the resources,
because it's so unknown that they don't, you know, they just bypass it. It's so important, the work that you're doing. It really is. And one of the statements you just made, when we categorize our employees, that I can tell you, so Jamie is the artist, you know, that Abby is the scientist, you know, and so on and so forth, where I can peg them because it is, I mean, an artist is not necessarily always the scientist, but where when you come to landscape design and things along those natures and garden design, it's an art form. It's an art form that requires that, and that where plant propagation, and when you talk about, we were talking earlier about botanical names and Latin names of plants, where that's the scientists, they're into that. It's so diverse, and that where people don't realize that, and I think that a lot of them associate horticulture with agriculture, and that would be a mistake. That would be a mistake. As far as companies that are helping get the word out, do you have, like, we talk about proven winners all the time, and they're probably one of the most recognized brands at this point within the horticultural world. They participating with you? Are they helping? In what ways?
Yes. Yep. So proven winners, they volunteer with Seed Your Future all the time. They are also on our advisory council. but they are planning to go into a few of the colleges around them. So definitely excited to see how that goes. But we have 700 plus industry professionals across the country that have signed up to participate in Green Career Week.
Oh, wow.
They are right. They're saying, we know it's important to connect with these students. We want to do it. And so that's really encouraging and exciting that industry realizes that they have to be a part of that solution and connecting with those students around them. Because think about it, those are future employees, but they're also future customers. And the sooner they know about your brand, the sooner they know what you're selling, the sooner they can start buying, right?
That's right.
Green Career Week is meant to help with several pieces. Yes, that labor pipeline, brand awareness, and also is meant to be a bragging point for the participating businesses. We tell them, send out a press release. Let your community know you're invested in them, you're an employer, and you want to hire local. And so use this time to showcase who you are, what your company culture is like, and again, get in front of all of those potential customers and employees.
I think that a lot of horticultural businesses, and I'm not talking about the large, gigantic nurseries, I'm talking about smaller mom and pop size businesses where they don't realize how much they have to offer and they're kind of intimidated. It's like, oh, nobody's going to want to work here.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like, that's exactly where people want to work because they don't want to be a number. They want to be, have that family type atmosphere that they can work in and actually have some type of say or make a difference within a smaller organization. So everybody out there that is part of our industry that's listening, don't shy away from this movement.
No, this is great, isn't it? I mean,
it
getting
is.
the word out. You're like a salesman. Like I've been a salesman all my life.
Okay.
And when people come out in the nursery where I'm at, they're going to get a pep talk. They're going to get knowledge. And, they're going to get and it's going to be enthusiastic because that's the way we work. And that whole experience is really important for them to take. And I think that we need to promote like you're doing. We need to promote it more.
That's right. And some of the things that I've noticed on what is Bloom, wearebloom.org.
Mm-hmm. So that is our offshoot of a campaign that we created specifically for middle school students, although we've had high school teachers use those materials as well. It's curriculum, it's digital games, and the really fun part, there is a quiz that can help get you 10 careers based on how you take the quiz, and the quiz takes maybe less than a minute to take. It prompts you a few questions, and then based on how you take the quiz, it's going to give you potential careers that you would be interested in, and then those careers link back to that list of 140. So you have your short list, but then you can also see like, oh, wow, here's 100 other things I had no idea existed. So it's just another one of our programs that we have that are catering to a specific age and different resources that also talk to parents. A lot of the times parents are talking their students out of coming into these higher education programs because the perception is you're just going to be playing with plants.
Right.
Well, that's not the case, right?
Playing with plants. That is I have heard that my entire life. It's like, oh, you just play with plants. You just play. It's like,
right.
You come and try to do my financial statement, and you tell me if I'm playing with plants.
Right. Right.
I'm an accountant at this point more than I'm playing with plants.
That's funny. But right, again, the general public, parents don't realize everything that it takes to be a part of this horticulture industry and how much STEM is in the industry. So we have materials that help parents educate them on, look, these are the diverse careers that are in this industry. Here are the diverse salaries that you can have. And again, this is going to be a place where your student is happy, professionally fulfilled, right, and it's rewarding, right? You are either feeding people or you're giving them these beautiful landscapes or these spaces that are going to help with mental health and relaxation, social and emotional. So it's a win-win.
You're changing the world, and that we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of those facts that you have on the wearebloom.org site that I brought in the studio with me, and that some of them are pretty amazing. Makes me proud to be in the industry. We'll be right back with Jazmin right after this. You know, some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend organic potting soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor organic potting soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend organic potting soil is available at these local retailers: Barlow's, Seagirt, New Jersey; Espenshades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Monton, Pennsylvania; Ashcomb's Farm and Greenhouse, Mechanicsburg, PA.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with their #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
From teaching moments in the garden to heartwarming memories, flowers have the remarkable ability to bring us together. The award-winning Philadelphia Flower Show invites you to a vibrant celebration of our growing community at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, March 2nd to 10th. Take part in the transformative power of gardening. Experience floral exhibits from top designers, the world's largest plant competition, crafts, shopping, activities, and more.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. We're in the garden with Jazmin Albarran, and she is basically put in charge of a big task, trying to fill. This is some of the fun facts that I was alluding to. 39% of the horticulture jobs go unfilled. That there is, I'll tell you what, that's scary.
Yeah. It is very scary, and it's just that awareness. People have no idea, again, of all those careers that are industry. They know of a few, and they're like, oh, I don't want that job. But they don't realize, right, everything else that they can do in this industry. That is from the technical side to the growing side to the transportation, to the irrigation, the lighting, the containers. Right. Like those are all careers. The soil, the inputs, again, all careers that are touching that one plant.
Right. I love this fact that, again, this is on a info sheet from wearebloom.org. Half of the medications, the top 100 medications prescribed, are from plants. I find that amazing. Amazing. You know, some of, and let's see, we only eat 2.5% of the edible plants in the world. I mean, I don't do very good on my vegetables, but, but that also is amazing.
Yeah, that's a fun sheet that we share with educators across the country.
Oh, and then 60% of what you put on your skin is absorbed in the bloodstream, and that and I guess that is going from that it comes from, is it 60% of the things you put on your skin are from plants, I would assume.
Yes, there are a lot of brands that are using very organic-based, plant-based ingredients in their skincare products now.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's the research that goes into creating these things all the way through to the people that have to promote them and grow them, for that matter.
Right.
How are you connecting experienced horticulturists that are looking for a new career path?
Yeah, so we often get someone that emails us and say, hey, this is what I'm doing now. I'd love to get into product development, or I'd love to get into breeding, what that might be. And so we just simply introduce them to our partners that have those type of roles in their company, just to have conversations about, okay, what would someone need to apply to that position, to transition from one role to the other. And so, again, helping that industry professional, but then also helping our industry partners find staff, right? We don't care if you move around, just stay in the industry. That's what we want. We want to retain them, which is important. So if we can help them make connections through networking and Seed Your Future, we have hundreds of volunteers across the country, as you mentioned, among many of the powerhouses in the industry. And so any way that we could help the businesses connect to future employees, it's a great thing for us to be able to do.
One of the last questions, do you have people or companies, rather, that are not traditional horticultural companies, that, like, say, a pharmaceutical company that you're working with for placement?
I don't. No, I don't. I mean, we have lots of hydroponics with growing, aquaponics, but no pharmaceuticals yet. But shout out if there's anybody listening that wants to connect with us. I'd love to have them.
All right, because I can see definitely a huge connection there. All right. Julio, have any other questions?
Well,
wrapping up?
No, I'm just so glad that you're out there and shedding the light on all of us here. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And get them while they're young.
Yes.
Keep it up.
That's what we're trying. We're trying to do that.
Plant that seed, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
I've talked to so many people that love what they do, and they've shared, I found this by accident. I found this as a second career because of my parent, my teacher, my whoever talked me out of doing it. And now, and I could do it, at this stage in life, now I could do it without somebody deterring me from it. So yes, that is my motivation, to get in front of more students that can find their passion sooner than later.
And passion is something that you hit on, that on your website. People get into this industry and there's just a raw passion for it. They enjoy going to work every day. They love what they do. And I really can't say that enough, that it's a career that is definitely rewarding. So get out there, go to, again, where do you want people to go? You have several websites and several for this coming week. Where do you want people to try to get a hold of your organization? What's best?
Okay, so our website is seedyourfuture.org. On that website is where you will find information for Green Career Week. If you are a parent, an educator, a student that would like to have a horticulture professional come and talk to the class or set up a field trip, all you have to do is send an email, info@seedyourfuture.org. I get that email, and then I can introduce them to someone in the industry to set up that for Green Career Week. And it doesn't have to happen during March 4th through the 8th. It can happen before. It can happen much later in the spring. We don't care. We just want to establish that relationship so that those visits can happen. And then we do have the We Are Bloom website where we have the quiz and other resources. But again, anyone listening can start at seedyourfuture.org, and we link to everything else from there.
Wow, that's great. Jazmin, thank you for the work that you do. We are desperate for looking for people that have an interest in horticulture, that understand what it is, and you're doing a great job. It's exactly what our industry needs.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and sharing a little bit about what we're doing.
All right. And if anybody, call the hotline if you have questions, and we can connect you with Jazmin. Students, parents, educators, doesn't matter what level, whether you're elementary through college, just you can contact us through Bloomers in the Garden, and that will connect you guys, because it is a very important thing to all of us.
Thank you, Jazmin, for being the voice, and we thank you what you're doing right now.
Yeah, Jazmin, thank you, and keep up the great work.
Yep.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
All right, we'll see you in the garden.
See you in the garden.